Gymnasium, where the visiting College of Marin Mariners are taking on your Solano Falcons. And join with me in the broadcast booth, my name is Brian Nelson. For the first time ever in the broadcast booth, breaking in this rookie is Josh Thompson. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing fantastic. We're coming off a big win for the Solano's women's team. Let's see if Solano's men's team can duplicate that success against Marin. So first, keys to the game. What do you think Solano has to do in order to win this game?
Well, they really need to lock down and play defense. If they do not play defense and contest shots, with all starters from Marin shooting well over 40%, that's a key. You need to contest the shots. You need to put a hand up, and that's a big deal for Solano.
And you talked about Marin's shooting ability. What is their success? Has been clear when you look at the stat line. They are 12-3 overall record. They're 5-0 on the road, and this is yet another road game for Marin. What do they have to do to stay the favorites and win this game?
I think that Marin needs to rebound the ball well because they are the bigger team here, as you can see on the court. And they also need to shoot the ball well. They do shoot over 40%. I expect to see them shoot the ball over 40% this game.
So quick before the tip-off, the Solano starters are number 3, Donovan Smith, number 12, JT Robinson, number 20, Tim Moore, number 32, Corey Cox, and number 44, Kyle Osterstock. While Marin is starting number 2, Miller Blake, number 3, George Johnson, number 11, Willie Rooks, number 20, Brandon Kindlevort, and number 21, Pierre Carter. And looks like at center, taking the tip-off, is Pierre Carter, along with number 20, Tim Moore. Let's see if Solano can get this ball to start off this game. And the ball is up, and it is Marin ball, handled by Blake. Miller Blake handles the ball, passes it to George Johnson.
Looks like Solano's playing man-to-man defense.
And he takes his man off the dribble, swings it around. And it's a three-point attempt by Rooks, and it is no good.
Great ball movement from Marin to get that open shot. Just didn't go down right there.
So Solano has the ball, looking to maybe post up Kyle Osterstock instead. A nice screen and a miss at the rim. And Marin is pushing the ball up the court. George Johnson getting ready for the Marin's offensive set.
And again, Solano's coming out and man pressing the ball just like I said they should.
So let's see if that defense can cause a turnover here for the Marin offense. They're just trying to feed the ball into the post, but good job from Solano denying it. 12 seconds left on the shot clock, and they are really selling for three-pointers, and that one is good from Pierre Carter.
Pierre Carter is shooting 58 or 48% from field, 33% from downtown.
58-48, that's all pretty impressive from that Marin player. So let's see what Solano does to respond to that three-point shot, and Donovan Smith with one of his own misses off strong and to the right. Rebound by George Johnson.
I think Solano needs to pass the ball a little bit more, get a better open-looking shot, and putting up the first shot that they see. So
Miller Blake passes to Johnson, and he hits another three for Marin. So 2 for 3 to start out the game for the Marin Mariners, and they're leading 6-0.
All right, George Johnson is shooting 39.2% from behind the three-point line and shooting 48% from the field. So that's really high percentages for the two guards from Marin.
So Corey Cox passes it up to number 12, JT Robinson, and he is fouled going to the rim, so he'll be shooting 2 free throws.
Great take by JT.
So starting off this game, Marin really trying to, looks like on offense, trying to feed it to the post, but Solano's denying it, but they're not able to stop the three-point shot.
Right.
So I guess that was a non-shooting foul from Marin, so Solano takes the ball out, handled by Donovan Smith.
The offense right here.
Trying to post up Osterstock, no, and Corey Cox driving the ball, and he lays it up and it is out. Rebounded by Willie Rooks. Pushes the ball up the floor to Pierre Carter. Passes it to George Johnson, and he misses that three-point attempt. Rebounded by Tim Moore.
Great open look from Johnson. Just didn't get it to knock it down.
And now Donovan Smith handling the ball, seeing what the Marin defense is offering. There's Tim Moore with the drive with the lefty hook, and it is good.
Great drive from Timothy Moore. Just attacking the basket straight there.
Not to be confused with the other Tim Moore that was on the team last year.
Right, completely different Timothy Moore. Completely different.
So Marin cycling the ball around the three-point line, trying to find some weaknesses in that man-to-man defense.
Ooh, and
good
there's that
play
defense I was talking about.
by Tim Moore.
Good
Strips
hustle.
the ball.
Good hustle from Timothy Moore. And
JT Robinson with the huge dunk.
one.
And one. That was an amazing play by JT Robinson. Great hustle, like you said, and great defense. Leads to offense for Solano. Huge play.
That should spark up. If that doesn't spark up Solano, then I don't know what will. Because that was fiery. That was nice.
And maybe your good luck charm. 4 minutes in, you already have a huge dunk on your reel for announcing, you know?
Yeah.
Way to go, Josh.
Man.
So JT at the line, trying to complete that three-point play. And it is good. So now Marin has to respond to such a huge play. Gymnasium's buzzing.
And there's that pressing defense I was talking about. Solano just needs to keep that up.
So a double screen from Marin. Able to set up Rooks for three, and that is good. So Marin, 3 for 5, all 5 shots from 3.
The play development for that play was ridiculous. It was a dribble drive action, and they kicked it out to the open man. Open man hit the 3.
So Solano really needing to guard that three-point line a little bit better, and Donovan Smith is unable to make that layup attempt. And Marin's on the fast break with Rooks, and he curls it just out. Kendelvort with the rebound. Brandon Kendelvort is fouled by, looks like, number 44, Kyle Osterstock.
And for Marin, like I was talking about earlier, their big thing is to rebound the ball since they are the bigger team here. And you see there.
So it is a foul actually on Jesse Carey, his first personal foul. First of the game for the Solano Falcons, and a timeout on the floor. So Marin's offense primarily shooting threes, only shooting threes.
Off to a great start. That's 3 threes that they've made in this game. Solano has 5 points.
What can they do to stop Marin's offense from shooting so many three-point shots?
Well, they need to help the helper. If one man's getting beat, the next man needs to step up and find that open man to stop the bleeding. That's a big deal. You need to do it. Defensive setups.
Simple as that. Help the helper.
Help the helper.
And it looks like Solano has a substitution on the floor. Number 50, Andre Usher, is now into the game, while Brandon Kendelvort is at the line shooting 2 free throws. So Kendelvort dribbles the ball. Able to sink the first one. So the first points for Marin, not made by a three-point shot.
Yeah, sweet touch.
Sweet touch, Kendelvort. All right. Now the second free throw attempt is true. So Donovan Smith handling the ball. Donovan Smith, one of the few returning players for Solano Falcons. He and Kyle Osterstock, the only ones, and there's an offensive foul called on number 50, Andre Usher.
Yeah, Andre just had to keep his feet planted. It was a moving screen there. And
quickly is taken out of the game by Coach Nagel, and Kyle Osterstock put back in the game. So Donovan Smith, Kyle Osterstock, only the real 2 returning members of the team from last year's team. A lot of turnover, so Solano has a brand new group of players.
Yeah, basically the entire program shifted, turned around.
So Willie Rooks from a three-point attempt is no good. Rebound by Jesse Carey. JT Robinson dribbling the ball down the floor, calling the play. Donovan Smith dribbles. Passes it to Kyle Osterstock. To Cox, drives the lane. He's able to lay it up and in between 2 Marin defenders.
From Corey Cox.
He's able to take Pierre Carter off the dribble and manage to muscle that one up from a pretty good defense from Pierre Carter.
Yes.
And Carter takes it off the dribble and is fouled by number 21, Jesse Carey. So his second foul. So a couple substitutions for Marin. Number 15, Luke Chavez, who's actually the team's leading scorer off the bench. And for Solano, number 10, Andrew Brinston. So that's pretty good for a Marin team to have your top scorer coming off your bench.
Yes, it is.
Really shows the depth of Marin's squad. So now Marin throws it into George Johnson. who passes it to Chavez. Drives, passes it. Hook. Johnson drives. Solano tries to take the charge. No foul is called. A little scrum for the ball, and Solano is able to come out with it. Donovan Smith lays it up and out, but he is fouled.
And that's the way you get a foul. Drive straight to the basket, go up, no double pumping, straight to the basket, get the contact, get the foul. Great job by Donovan Smith.
Really shows the promise of a true scorer, knowing how to draw the foul, get 2 free throws. Really, when you watch the NBA, a lot of top scorers, that's how they get the most of their points.
From the free throw line.
Yes.
And he missed one there.
So Donovan Smith really off this game to start out. Hasn't made a shot from the field, misses his first free throw. Maybe the second one can get him going offensively. He leads the team with 18 points a game, so really a key for their offense that only scores 66 points a game. Getting Donovan Smith going is going to be real key for Solano's success.
And Corey Cox picks up a foul away from the ball.
That's something you don't want to see from Solano. 4 fouls in only just over 5 minutes, getting into the bonus, and only 3 more fouls for a single bonus, 6 fouls for a double bonus.
Kind of a silly foul.
It's really unnecessary to have an off-the-ball foul that early in the shot clock. You can deal with fouls from hustle, but not.
And that was a wonderful block from Timothy Moore.
Travel called on Pierre Carter. So there's a turnover for Marin, and Solano gets the ball back. Donovan Smith calling the play, trying to get somebody to get the ball. Corey Cox passes it back to Smith.
Let's see if Solano can get into an offensive flow here and run the play.
Really, so far, Solano's offense really stymied by the Marin defense, and right on cue, a travel called on Solano with Marin substituting in number 50, Bobby Reeves.
Very big man right there. He's ferocious.
Towers over Osterstock.
Yes, he does.
A couple inches. So Marin really playing better. That's a great pass by Chavez. Back to Johnson, unable to make the layup, and is a foul on the loose ball on Reeves.
And I would just like to commend Kyle Osterstock on that great box out. Caused number 50, Bobby Reeves from Marin to pick up the over-the-back foul.
So checking in for Solano is Joshawn Snell. Our first look at Snell. So Snell and Brinston look like they're the guards in this lineup. Number 20, Tim Moore, and Cox at the 4 position with Osterstock at center. So Cox takes the screen, drives the ball, and is offensive foul. A little aggressive there on Chavez defense, overplaying him, getting in his way. Was that an offensive foul in your opinion?
Offensive foul in my opinion.
Yeah.
He lowered his shoulder, his head wasn't up, and that's 2 fouls on Corey Cox, so he'll have to come out of the game for most of the remainder of the first half.
Yeah, so not to get in foul trouble. Cox is the second leading scorer for Solano at 14 points a game, so huge blow to Solano. Really, their offense not being able to generate any sort of rhythm, any sort of pace. So that, unlike the Marin offense, which hits yet another 3.
From Pierce Carter.
And before the game today, we had a fan from Marin come up and approach us. He's like, watch out for number 3, George Johnson, number 21, Pierre Carter.
And so far, George Johnson and Pierre Carter have taken over this game.
9 of the 14 points from those 2 gentlemen. Let's see if Solano can respond, generate some sort of offense that not only scores points, but really gets them into a better offensive rhythm. And Chavez with the overplay almost gets the steal. Osterstock for 3, and it is short. I see a big man with the 3. Miller Blake passes it over to Chavez, passes it to Carter. Carter for 3, off the mark. Rebounded by Tim Moore. Excuse me, LeJean Sewell with the rebound. 20, 30, both out there, you know.
Yeah.
And now a 3-point attempt from Solano is short and is rebounded by Carter. Marin pushing the ball up the court. Miller Blake passing it to Carter.
And
into the big man Reeves, puts a post move on Osterstock. It is no good. Now Solano gathers the rebound, slows it up, and for their offensive set.
Solano also switched into a 2-3 zone that possession.
Maybe
Probably
that's a
caused-
response from Coach Nagel for such proficient three-point shooting. The zone defense allows you to crash on the three-point shooter a little bit better than man-to-man if you get beat. So a three-point attempt from Solano is, again, off the mark from Joshawn Snell. Luke Chavez almost turns the ball over. Great play by Tim Moore overplaying Chavez.
Great defensive hustle.
And it looks like a substitution from Marin. The other Chavez, Neil Chavez. By the looks of them, they look like brothers. It's safe to assume the Chavez boys in for Marin.
And Andre Usher comes in for Solano.
So Marin now with their offense. Miller Blake handling the point guard. Calls for a screen, denies it. Passes it up. And a foul on the three-point attempt from Milton Jackson on Joshawn Snell. Fouling the three-point shooter. Something you never want to do.
And Nagel is getting in Joshawn for that foul at the three-point line.
You can handle some hustle, but you don't want to foul a three-point shooter, especially a guy that he didn't look like it was going to go in.
Anyways.
Yeah. So giving him 3 free throw opportunities, misses the first. Second attempt from Milton Jackson is
Misses
off.
that one too.
Substitution for Solano. For Solano, number 12 is JT Robinson.
Let's look for JT to take control and really set up an offensive flow for Solano to build on.
Yeah.
Also bringing some defense. Great defensive stopper.
So JT looks like he's handling the point, dribbling the ball up the court, excuse me. Passing it over to number 10, Andrew Brinston. Brinston over to Sewell. Sewell tries to get the defender off him with the screen. Tim Moore at the top. Travels, trying to make that move. It's a kind of turnover you see a lot in college basketball. Why do players continue to travel?
Well, I'll explain it to you like this. They want to walk before they can run.
So
they don't put the ball on the floor, and they move their feet before they put the ball on the floor, and that's a travel.
Okay.
A lot of players, they don't take the time to learn the fundamentals of the game.
Luke Chavez for 3, and Marin's three-point shooting continues to get them in the lead now, leading by 10 points.
Luke Chavez shooting 50% from behind the arc. That is amazing. That's Stephen Curry shooting.
Woo. And maybe they can have the Splash Brothers with actual brothers this time,
Right.
you know, Neil and Luke. So JT with the little jumper off the baseline, no good. It looks like a loose ball foul on Marin.
Bobby Reeves getting in there.
And when somebody's that big and Solano is that small, people just bounce off Reeves and it looks like a foul. So
Yeah, it might work in Solano's favor.
Solano taking the ball out. Only the 4th team foul for Marin. Marin is already in the single bonus, so that means if they get fouled, they'll be shooting 1-and-1s for the rest of the half.
Right, Solano already has 7. They're playing physical, but let's keep it back.
Got to play smart now when you're in foul trouble.
Exactly.
So Jesse Carey gets the ball, hands it off to JT. Passes over to Donovan Smith for 3. Is off the mark. Strong rebound goes to Miller Blake. Dribbles it past Donovan Smith. Drives the ball, and it lays it up and in for 2. Donovan Smith now passing it over to JT Robinson. Setting up a Jesse Carey screen for Sewell. Sewell passes it to Robinson, open for 3, but he travels, getting a little, like you said, a little over-anxious.
Gotta walk before you can run.
Yeah. If you want to make another sports metaphor analogy, you got a little over the skis there.
You gotta dribble before you can run. Like walking before you run. Or even you have to crawl before you can walk.
So timeout on the floor, and they corrected the foul situation. So Solano's not in the has not put Marin in the single bonus. They only have 16 fouls, while Marin now has 5. So 10:40 left in the first half, and Marin is leading 20-8. Really, the story of the first half so far is Marin's three-point shooting ability.
have shot, I believe, well over 50% from the three-point line. And that's a big deal when you're talking about if they're making 4 or 5 three-point shots. That's 15 points on the board. They really haven't pounded it into the key like they should, but I can't say anything about it because it's 20-8.
And meanwhile, for the Solano offense, it's a completely different story. They really haven't gotten anything really all game from the offensive perspective.
Most of their points have been from the free throw line.
Well, what do you see most of the plays that Solano's been running for the viewer at home watching or on youtube.com/Solano College?
Well, I see a lot of one pass, I'm going to shoot it, or one pass, one-on-one basketball. Not a lot of team ball out there. So let's look for Solano to pass the ball a lot more often to find the open man.
Chavez, on the other hand, with a teardrop, is able to hit it. And as a foul on Marin, number 22, Milton Jackson, the backup guard. Now both teams have 16 fouls, so next foul for both teams puts them over the limit.
And that was Luke Chavez, by the way, not Neil.
Gotcha. So Luke Chavez with the foul, and now Marin in a 3-2 zone, looks like.
They are in a 3-2 zone.
3-2 zone. So Donovan Smith trying to penetrate, trying to find an open man.
Now they're in a help man, actually. So what's happening is they're switching every screen.
So Smith with a long three-point shot, and it is good.
Put it in there then.
So Donovan Smith finally getting on track with his first field goal made from the field. Luke Chavez with another runner.
That's 7 for Luke on the day.
So their leading scorer has 7 points. Smith drives it, puts it up off the glass, too strong. Reeves with the rebound, and it is off his leg, and it is Solano ball. So good hustle play from Solano, number 50, Andre Usher.
That's what I'm talking about. Defense wins championship, offense wins games.
So now let's see if the offense can't cut this lead. Three-point shot cuts it back down to 10. That's a little bit more manageable.
Right.
So Smith inbounding the ball, looking for JT Robinson. Squares up his man.
Let's look for them to develop the offense right here.
Right now they're just passing it along the three-point line. Smith sets the screen for Carey. Passing it to Usher. Smith one dribble and up, and it is short. So a lot of passing, but not really efficient offensive play from Solano.
They need to find the best open look.
And not settle for jumpers, which
right.
they seem to be doing for the majority of their possessions.
You can settle for an open jumper, but don't settle for a jumper.
Contested jumper, yeah. Sewell with the steal, and he is laid up, and he is fouled by Pierre Carter. Got him with the body.
But great defense from Lejean.
Sewell, the freshman guard, appearing in all the games for Solano, averaging 3.5 points per game. So let's see if he can't score from the free throw line. First free throw is no good, short, clanking off the
Solano just needs to take their time at the free throw line. We've been missing a lot of free throws, a lot of free points on the board, just leaving them there. They need to convert.
They are doing a good job of getting to the line. It's really converting. Like you said, if they converted all the free throws, this would be a single-digit ball game.
Yes, it would.
But instead, Marin is now doubled up on Solano, 24-12, with 8:50 or so remaining in the first half. Rooks has the ball, trying to find an opening, pass it to Johnson. Pass it to Pierre Carter. Fouled on the jumper by number 22.
That was
Solano.
great defense, honestly. He just might have tipped his finger right there.
JT Robinson with the foul.
Little love tap.
Yep. So Carter at the line. Rattles it home.
And Carter's having a great game today.
It's been all over the place. He's been playing pretty good defense on the defensive end. He's been playing Corey Cox most of the offensive possessions, letting him drive, but still contesting his shot, not letting him get a clean look at the basket. And on the offensive end, shooting three-point shots, driving to the basket, making his free throws. Pierre Carter having a heck of a game for the Marin Mariners. And right on cue, he steals the ball and dunks it for 2. So Pierre Carter with the overplay.
Made it look easy. One-hand throw down.
Maybe he didn't know he was on SCSN and could have made a top play and made a fancy dunk, but no, just gonna go up, make a little nice one-hand dunk.
Hashtag SCSN top team.
So Tim Moore passes it to Sewell, heading over to Princeton, who travels.
And that is the 3rd turnover for really the same thing.
Yeah, so
they're jab stepping and walking before they dribble, and they're going to call that a travel every single time. And
yes, they have called it every single time.
Every single time. It's the 3rd time this game.
So a timeout on the floor with 8 minutes and 1 second remaining. Marin has a 16-point lead, and much to no one's surprised, really, looking at the stats. Marin is a heck of a basketball team, 12-3 on the year. Having a bunch of scores: Miller Blake, George Johnson, Willie Rooks, Brendan Kindlevort, Pierre Carter, and Luke Chavez, all averaging over 7 points. It's a really balanced offensive attack from Marin, and Solano just doesn't seem to have an answer defensively for that.
And they're all shooting over 40%. And they've shot well over 40% this game, too.
So now after that quick 30-second timeout, Marin has the ball. Kindlevort has it in the post, passes it back to Johnson. The Marin coach calling the play. See what he has dialed up. Swings it around. Kindlevort passes it to Johnson. He drives to his right, dribbles back out. 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
And Solano's in the man defense. It's been proving well
Marin
here.
with a long 3. Pierre Carter, NBA range.
That was really, really far out.
Not like the hippie kind of like, oh, that was far out.
That
was far out.
Deep.
Like, that was from Vallejo, folks.
Talking about Jimmer Fredette, except for it's not Jimmer Fredette, it's Pierre Carter.
Oh. Pierre, you know, because French, no? All right.
Yeah.
That's all right, Josh. We're new at this.
Pierre
We're just building
Carter.
our chemistry as a broadcasting duo. You'll get my humor eventually, you know. Rooks has the ball, and he lays it up and in after a good series of one-on-one moves.
Good, strong move inside from Brooks to get the easy deuce.
So Rooks now, Solano has the ball, trying to respond. Really, Marin's been on a huge run, building the lead to 19 points. They really need a stopgap on this offensive possession. Let's see if Sewell can maybe stop that at the free throw line. So
I see Lejean communicating to Timothy Moore. They weren't setting the offense up right, and as a point guard, you see Lejean Sewell talking to Timothy Moore, telling them, hey man, you know, you need to do the offense right, set it up, get into an offensive flow, and that's what they need to get back into this game.
So nails the first of a 1-and-1. Now you play basketball, right, Josh?
Yes,
what position do you play?
Point guard, shooting guard.
Point guard, shooting guard. So from your perspective as a guard, what do you think the Solano guards should do to kind of help this offense generate some sort of consistency?
They need to get into a flow of offense. Like, I see a lot of one-on-one playing, not just from the guards, but from the big man too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how you win games. When you pass the ball, things happen.
And it looks like George Johnson has the disease that's going around of traveling.
It's the 4th call of this game. 3 by Solano, 1 by Marin.
I think you see that a lot on the community college circuit from basketball players. From my experience of watching men's basketball, everybody just wants to get ahead of themselves a little bit too quickly. So that's a common call in the game. First for Marin. So Donovan Smith has the ball, trying to maybe post it into Osterstock. So Kindlevort draws an offensive foul from Osterstock. Osterstock trying to get some separation, just a little overzealous there.
Trying to muscle inside. Just didn't go the way he thought it should.
Not Kenilvort. Osterstock talking to the ref about how that was a foul on him. So Solano playing a little zone defense. And a lob pass for number 24,
And they're
Stan
gonna call
Kaya.
a technical on that play because the hanging on the rim was definitely unnecessary.
He gets some style points, though,
Yeah.
in my book.
Right. Nice alley-oop pass.
Yeah.
Dunk the ball, put it in. You just didn't have to hang on the rim. and pull
If you were
yourself up.
Marin's coach, would you have that be acceptable? You're up 21.
No, if I was the men's coach and you get a technical foul, you're coming out of the game.
Yeah.
Period.
I don't care if you just did an alley-oop dunk.
Right. I don't care how good you are. You can be Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Coming out of the game.
So Sewell nails the first of the technical fouls. Free throws.
And I've seen LeJean Sewell really coming and stepping up these last couple of minutes. 4 points in about 2 minutes he scored from the free throw line. Getting it done.
So about half of the Solano's points today are from JT Robinson and LeJean Sewell.
And then we have 4 points from Donovan.
Donovan Smith, yeah. He's shooting a lot, not finding that much success. Surprisingly, the hardest shot he took from way far out was the one shot he did hit.
And we have 2 from Corey Cox.
So there's a good-looking shot from Smith with a good screen from Andre Usher, freeing up Smith, but he is unable to nail that three-point attempt. So now Carter guarded by Sewell. And Stan Kaya draws the foul. Usher's trying to say it was on him, but no, it is on JT Robinson.
Great team defense there. They all collapse at the ball. They just need to put their hands straight up and play defense the correct way not to get that foul.
So now a little bit of foul trouble for Solano. JT Robinson has 2 fouls. Corey Cox has 2 fouls.
He's sat out the majority of the first half, almost 15 minutes in, right?
If you
15 minutes left.
look at the bench, he has his warm-up shirt on, you know? It doesn't
Right.
look like he's coming in anytime soon, so.
Probably won't come into the second half.
So
See if we can get productive scoring out of him.
So Stan Kaya at the free throw line after that huge alley-oop dunk a couple possessions ago.
Technical foul. Unnecessary style points.
Yeah. So Joshawn Snell passes it to Donovan Smith. Getting the offense set up. Snell takes his man, passes it to Smith. Sewell now has it at the Smith settling for a long three-point attempt, and it is off to the right.
Too much one-on-one basketball, and you're going to see Donovan Smith come right out of the game. Nagle does not like that whatsoever.
So really a good look at Solano's bench here with this current lineup with Snell, Brinston, Sewell, with Usher and Overstock as the big men. Overstock doing a good job of communicating, but in closing out on Pierre Carter, who misses that three-point attempt. Brooks passes it to Carter, passing it to Stan Kaya, who lays it up and in.
Second chance points from the rebound.
That was one of the keys you said was Marin's length and them being able to rebound the ball.
And with 3 guards on the floor, literally 3 guards and 2 forwards.
Yeah, it looks like it's a very extreme-looking lineup. Osterstock dribbles it off his foot and out of bounds. But Solano really looks like it has a 2-point guard look with Brinston and Snell. And Sewell's not that much bigger than either of them, so he's really a borderline shooting guard playing small forward. With they're their 2 biggest guys in Osterstock and Usher that they have on the Solano roster. So Marin, Pierre Carter having a great first half.
And Solano in a 2-1-2 defense.
So they skip the ball to George Johnson, Carter to Johnson.
4-3.
So Marin leading 42-16 with 3:40 left in the first half.
And Brian, it has literally looked like a 3-point shooting contest. Like,
It's been beautiful, you know?
Beautiful shooting from Marin.
If this was last year, I would have said it would have been nice rain that we haven't been seeing, but we saw some rain this past winter, so. Out of bounds to Marin. Really just rainbows and shots all over the court for Marin from a variety of players. Johnson's been having a good game. Carter's had a good game. Kaya off the bench had that spectacular dunk.
Yes, he did.
So now Miller Blake, one of the terrific all-around players for Marin, averages almost 8 points a game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and really in community college basketball, that's a pretty good line.
And I talked about earlier how Marin had 16 assists a game and Solano had 6 assists a game, and it's been around that number of assists. Solano even lower than 6 because they haven't had that many assists this game.
So Milton Jackson misses the 3. Tim Moore off on the fast break, puts up a shot and misses. And Marin on the counter attack. Luke Chavez has the ball, takes it back out, slows it back up. Milton Jackson with the layup, and it is good.
Easy buckets.
So missed opportunity for Solano on that fast break opportunity from Tim Moore. Leads to points on the other end for Marin.
It was just a defensive breakdown. He walked into the lane and made a layup.
So now Snell dribbles the ball, turns the ball over. Let's see if Miller Blake
And
try to dunk it in.
missed the dunk.
Looks like a fish because he got caught in the net. Luke Chavez with the steal. Milton Jackson passes it, turns the ball over. Sewell has the ball on. That is a wide open layup for Solano. So good transition defense from Solano.
And LeJean Sewell, like I said, has been stepping it up big time here as Corey Cox is on the bench with
Some foul trouble. Yep.
Stepped it up. He has about, 7, 8 points?
Yep.
LeJean Sewell.
LeJean, probably 6, I think.
Oh, he's 7.
You know, if you're listening to this broadcast and you'd like to join Comms 75, we could use some stats, people, because it's pretty hard for us to multitask, and this being your first broadcast and my first broadcast of men's basketball as a play-by-play. So
Yes.
recruiting is very important. You know, Comms 75 offered in both the spring and fall semesters. So we could always use some more recruits.
We're getting jeers.
Yeah, we're getting some bad looks from our production staff, Big Mike, McLeod's, Josh Samoida. They're pretty disappointed in us not knowing how many points Sewell has, but, you know, it's the way of the world.
It's the way of the world, top of the head.
So timeout on the floor. Minute 48 left in the first half. 44-18, Marin is leading.
Let's see if Solano can't get back into this game with a couple of three-point shots. I know you shouldn't be jacking them up like that, but at this point in the game, it's a minute and 48 left in the first half. It's 18-44. You need three-point shots to get back into the game. So let's see if Solano can get back into the flow. With
I think a good goal would be to cut it down to 20. It's a 26-point lead right now. Cut it down to 20. Make it
the half.
Yeah, for the halftime. And Luke Chavez for 3 from the corner. It is no good. Just rattles out.
Great rebound from Joe Sean Snell.
Ball into Usher. He loses the ball.
Just mishandled it inside.
As a big man, you kind of want the ball up because once the ball's down, those little guys can strip it away.
Right.
Milton
Didn't
Jackson.
need that power dribble. He used it and just didn't pay off.
Miller Blake passes it to Chavez, around to Jackson, back to Chavez for 3. That was a good-looking offensive play from Marin. Luke Chavez in double digits now with 10 points.
Just getting buckets.
We can see why Marin's leading scorer is Luke Chavez. Really has a nice touch on the three-point shot and has the ability to drive the ball. Really a dual threat on the offensive end.
Right, just dribble drive. Like, they're driving to the inside, and as soon as they see the open man, they pass it to the open man, and they pass it 4 or 5 times before they get in the best look possible.
And Chavez's offensive arsenal really good because if you're a good three-point shooter, they're going to close out on you. Right. And if you have the move is the three-point shot, the counter move, go right by him, float it up. So it was missed free throw from Solano on the one-on-one.
Close, pump fake. Get to the basket.
Move, counter move. Yeah. Sound offensive basketball. So Melvin Jackson dribbling down the clock, trying to run down the rest of this first half. We have 18 seconds left on the shot clock, so Solano will get the ball back for one opportunity.
They should.
Settling. So Stan Kaya, Marin able to pass the ball around the horn, get past that Solano zone defense.
And let's see if Solano can get a bucket, last seconds bucket to end this first half.
So 15 seconds left and counting. It is a 31-point game. So Marin trying to hound the ball handler Sewell. Unaware of the clock, not able to get that shot off in time. And that'll do it for the first half with Marin leading 49-18. What are your thoughts of the first half from both sides of the ball?
Well, I believe that Solano, they were playing great defense, but great defense doesn't take into the account that Marin is shooting over 40% from the field and probably 50% from three-point. So the score talks and it says
it speaks volumes, as we would say. So Marin's offense halfway to 100 and only a half, while Solano's offense is constantly stymied by the Marin defense, not able to get any sort of rhythm. The shots they are getting are contested, maybe not the best shots to get. Really, this half, what would you, as Coach Nagel, what would you say to your guys?
We need to run the offense. Solano I haven't seen them run an offense like the entire time. If they did run an offense, it was stagnant. It was a one pass, I'm shooting it. They need to play as a team.
So let's see if Solano can play better as a team and cut into this deficit from Marin. We'll be back for the second half right after this.
Hi, I'm Remington Green, and this is my broadcasting partner, Kayla Gibbons. Today we're going to talk about one of the most hands-on classes you'll ever consider taking. We're talking about sports broadcasting. After everything's said and done, this class has taught me how to be involved, and it's given me experience in the field of sports broadcasting. It's taught me how to work behind a microphone, it's taught me how to work a camera, and it's ultimately taught me how to be a people person and talk to coaches and teachers and players. It's given me involvement because this is a 2-year institution, and kids come and go, and there's kind of a hard way to be involved in such a community that's always fluctuating. It's giving me the opportunity, like I mentioned, to talk to coaches about their players and their team and what do they look for in the future, and to teachers about what their plans are for, their classes that they have. And ultimately, this class has given me an experience that I would never take back.
Definitely. I'll definitely have to fully agree with Remington on that. This class has benefited me in many ways. I came into the class, it's my first semester here at Solano. I'm a comm major. I had no clue what I would be doing in the class. I was nervous. Oh no, I have no experience being behind the camera. This class brought me full experience. Poff is a great professor. He works with each student hands-on. You learn so much about doing interviews, working with others in group settings, as well as being there for sports events at the school, such as, basketball games, soccer games. You're fully working hands-on in the field, and it's a great class to be a part of.
At the end of the day, this class really, really, truly shows you what it means to be a sports broadcaster or a cameraman or an electrician guy who's just trying to help us out. And this is an experience, and it's not just a class where you've got textbooks and lectures, but it's something that really gets you involved and really sets you up for something. If this is the future and the major that you want to have, this definitely sets you on the right path.
Definitely. If you're tired of, day-to-day lectures and classes, taking notes, and you want something more hands-on, I definitely recommend that you register for Com 75 Sports Broadcasting in spring 2015.
Thank you.
And welcome back to the second half of this men's basketball game here at Solano. And much like the Solano basketball team, where this can be used as a learning experience, here at SCSN, we love learning experiences too. So joining me in the broadcast booth, instead of Josh Thompson, is Anthony Williams. Anthony, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Brian?
I'm doing okay. I've done better. 30-point games are not my forte. They kind of hurt my heart a little bit, but we'll see if Solano can bounce back and respond to some adversity. What were some things that stuck out to you in the first half?
Well, Solano, they definitely need to step up their defense, being down 31 points. Marin is getting to the hole too many times, and they're hitting wide open threes all day. They definitely need to step up the defense.
And Solano is responding to some second half adjustments by starting a different squad. Donovan Smith is not out there, and neither is JT Robinson. So instead, Joshawn Snell, LeJean Sewell, and Jesse Carey are all out there that didn't start the game. So Marin now has the ball, passes it to Miller Blake, looks for a postman, does not find one. Rooks passes it back to Blake. Blake drives, passed, and nice dish off to Brandon Kendallvort.
That pass was beautiful, Brian. It was beautiful.
Really set up the defender there and made him think he was going to drive to the basket, and right as he left his man, he dished it right to the big man.
Yes, I love it.
So now Corey Cox dumps it into Kyle Osterstock, tries to get it to number 5, Joshawn Snell. Went off Joshawn Snell and is now Marin ball. So now Miller Blake dribbles the ball into the Marin offensive set. Looks to the coach to see what the play is going to be. Miller Blake gets the ball back from George Johnson, who had a good first half, along with the man holding the ball, Pierre Carter. George Johnson drives, lays it up over the big man, Kyle Osterstock, for 2.
Nice floater. I love it. My special move.
Is that something in your forte as a basketball player, the little floater?
Yes, I always do it, especially around big men, because it's easier to put your touch on the ball.
Well, big man. You're a pretty big man yourself. Like, if I do say so myself, I mean, like, you tower over me, so I can't imagine anyone bigger than you. So LeJean Sewell with a drive and 1. So Sewell was one of the actual bright spots for the Solano basketball team in the first half. Him along with JT Robinson really have the majority of the points for Solano.
Yes, they need to attack the paint more and get to the free throw line. Easy buckets all day.
And Sewell managed to get to the free throw line on multiple occasions in the first half. Tries to complete that third three-point play, but a lane violation on Solano, unable to get that free throw. So 33-point game with 18 minutes left in the second half. Miller Blake passes it to Pierre Carter. Carter drives the ball, but carries, palmed the ball, a little not allowed to have the ball underneath it and bring it over. That is a travel. A lot of interesting travels in the first half. A lot of offense that try to go a little too quickly and jab step, and they got called for traveling.
Yes, I noticed.
So Solano, Cox throws it to Sewell. Gets it over to Osterstock. Now Joshawn Snell trying to find an open man. Gets it to Cox, who takes his man off the dribble. Step back three-pointer on the way, and it is good. So 3 points for Corey Cox, the team's second leading scorer on the year, averaging about 14.
Let's go, Corey.
Yeah.
Rodriguez native.
Hey, I was going to say something a little. You want to say let's go Corey rather than let's go Cox, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. just double checking. So out of bounds. Looks like it's still Marin ball. Willie Rooks taking the ball out of bounds. Finds Brandon Kendallvort. Gives it to Pierre Carter, who's really impressive. Looks like he's like a stretch 4. And Rooks unable to make that basket. Good rebound by Solano. Now Corey Cox dribbles and finds his teammate Sewell, who drives past Rooks, passes it to Jesse Carey. He's trying to find Cox in the post, but good denial by Miller Blake. Jesse Carey passes it to Joshawn Snell to LeJean Sewell. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Jesse Carey puts it up, and it is long, and that is a shot clock violation or out of bounds, whatever you like.
they need to attack the paint because these three-pointers that they're trying to attempt, they're not falling in.
They are not. They didn't fall in the first half. Couldn't get an easy bucket in the paint. What needs to happen for them to get easier buckets in the painted area?
Set screens for each other, pass the ball more, and make the defense move.
Meanwhile, Willie Rooks getting the ball. Easy layup in the lane. And a violation on Solano. Did he step over the line before he tried to inbound the ball?
I think he did.
So that looks like what they called. So just a mental mistake from Solano. That's pretty inexcusable, mental mistakes. Because coaches will accept some physical mistakes, like if you're injured. But mental mistakes, those kill you.
They hurt the whole team.
Candlefort tries a little oopsie dipsy do little layup and that you can do in a 32-point game and misses it. So
Good
Corey
job,
Cox
Corey.
with the foul, drawing the foul on Brandon Candlefort.
See, Brian, he attacked the paint, got the foul.
Yeah. And Cox was in foul trouble early on, so he didn't play much of that first half. So extended minutes for Corey Cox from our perspective because this is our first men's basketball game that we've done this season.
Yes, and I think they waved off the foul.
So probably they'll call it an inadvertent whistle. So Corey Cox taking Pierre Carter off the dribble. Dangerous pass. Donovan Smith gathers it, passes it to Tim Moore. And good defense by Pierre Carter, disrupting that pass, or shot attempt, making that a lot more difficult. So Miller Blake setting up the offensive attack for Marin. Drives. Again, pass to Kenilvort. Very nicely done by Miller Blake. And Kenilvort with a nice hook shot. Donovan Smith tries to get some separation from Rooks. And now Cox drives the lane. Contested layup. Osterstock trying to get some position. Passes it out to Cox. Osterstock for three. And it is short. Just rims out. And it is rebounded by Miller Blake. Miller Blake on the semi-fast break. So good tip by number 5, Joe Sean Snell. Out of bounds off of the Marin player. So what do you think of Solano's defense now in the second half? Have you seen any improvements?
They're stepping it up. They're stepping it up a little bit more. They're getting more physical. I hope they can keep this up and reduce this lead.
And really some unfortunate fouls in the first half on defense for Solano while Donovan Smith draws the foul. Really, you like to see hustle,
Yes.
but you don't like to see, for a lack of a better term, a dumb foul. Like shooting a three-point shooter in the corner
Yes.
when you're just trying to hustle.
Yes, that is the most easiest way to make a coach mad.
And right in front of the coach's bench, too. Right in front of your bench. So Donovan Smith hits the first free throw. Smith in the first half was ice cold. He hit a long three-point shot and made a free throw. But he makes 2 of 2 here, so 6 total points for Donovan Smith, the team's leading scorer at 18 a game. I tell you, Smith, watching the games last year, he was a backup point guard, really brought a lot of energy. This year, asked to be a different role player because he's now a starter, takes primarily the most shots on the team. So Donovan Smith, really a key player for Solano's success. Luke Chavez meanwhile, gets a little floater to go in. Chavez is right around his average with 12 points in the game. So Smith works the ball around to Joe Sean Snell. Back to Smith. Smith takes the ball. He has double teamed. Osterstock passes it to Tim Moore. Straight on three is good.
Nice shot, Tim.
So Tim Moore, the lefty, it looks like.
Yes, sir.
Lefties have good jump shots.
Another Rodriguez native.
Oh, so some Fairfield love to Rodriguez High School, the Mustangs.
Yes, sir.
Neil Chavez for three, the brother of Luke Chavez. And it's a foul on Marin. You know, whenever I hear the term Mustangs, Mike McLeod, we've recruited him to do some stats. He'll remember this quite vividly. We went to a volleyball game at Savonquis Delta, And they are also the Mustangs, just like Rodriguez. And after every single point, the PA announcer would go, "Point, Mustangs." And that was the most annoying thing I've ever heard in my life. I still have PTSD about it. So Luke Chavez drives lane from it after receiving the pass from his brother, and it is a blocking foul on number 5, Joshawn Snell.
He got there a tad little too late.
Yeah, good idea to try and draw the charge because he was obviously driving to the basket, but did not get there entirely. Still moving to the, looks like his right.
Yes, coaches love seeing their players sacrifice their bodies.
See, that's the type of play during the game. I'm all for it. Next day, kind of get a little sore and taking those hits.
You know, the chest and the back area, you'll feel a little pain.
So checking into the game for Solano is JT Robinson, replacing number 20, Tim Moore. So Marin taking the ball out with Willie Rooks, passing it over to the big man, Big Bobby Reeves. Bobby in the post. Nice post move on Osterstock, but it's a little too strong. And Donovan Smith with the rebound. He has Cox to his left. Osterstock to his right. Osterstock for 3. Nice little set shot. Just strong. And JT Robinson working for that rebound draws the foul.
Nice hustle, JT.
So really, this is a lineup that is primarily starters. The only guy who did not start this game is Joshawn Snell. Good screen from Osterstock to free up Donovan Smith, but just too strong. And is rebounded by Milton Jackson, who takes the ball up the court, passes to Big Bobby Reeves, and he lays the ball up and in. I guess that's the type of guy you're talking about, like a big man, huh?
Yes, sir.
Big Bobby Reeves.
Big Bobby.
When you see a basketball player and he's wearing 5-0, that's the kind of guy I kind of want to avoid.
Yes.
I'll guard the 5. I'll guard 3. 50? That's all you, Anthony.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Tries to lay the ball up from Rooks, but draws the foul from Donovan Smith. So good foul by Smith, not allowing the easy bucket from Rooks. Not in my house.
No,
Would you
not
say?
at all.
Yeah. So 2 shots for Willie Rooks, the starting small forward for the Marin Mariners. Now into the game, replacing Joshawn Snell is LeJean Sewell. So now Rooks lining the ball up for his second free throw attempt. And it is good. So now it is a 35-point ball game. So Corey Cox dribbles the ball. Gets the ball back into the post area and draws a foul on Willie Rooks. So 3rd foul on Rooks. And Marin has committed 6 fouls already in this first half. And a good backdoor cut by JT Robinson.
Yes, nice cut.
Think that was out of bounds play?
Yes.
Drawn up by Coach Nagel?
Out of bounds play.
Work to perfection there. Now you just got to do that like 15 more times. You're back in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So foul called on Solano, JT Robinson. His 3rd foul. So Marin inbounds the ball. Chavez to Chavez. Around the horn. Back to Bobby Reeves, and he lays the ball up and in.
Big Bobby kind of reminds me of back in my days, Brian.
Used to school some people on the schoolyard like that?
Yeah, you know, 20 points a game, but that's nothing.
Oh, just being humble. The fantasy pickup basketball league, your first round, right?
Yes.
I'm the water boy. Not Gatorade. H2O. So Donovan Smith dribbles the ball. Corey Cox now has it. Osterstock posting up Bobby Reeves with the overplay. Fouls him in the process. So hustle play from Bobby Reeves. Kyle Osterstock is one of the few returning members of the Solano basketball team. He was primarily a backup center to the likes of Jamari Moss. And now with most of the sophomores leaving, Osterstock is being asked to start and has a bigger role on this Solano basketball team. He and Dominic Smith are the returning members. And Osterstock nails the first of a 1-and-1. Donovan Smith really had one of the most impressive plays last year with a breakaway dunk. He just elevated and kept elevating. Threw it down. So Osterstock nails 2 of 2 and is replaced in the game by number 50, Andre Usher. So Marin going with some backups, Stan Kaya, Milton Jackson, both Chavez brothers and Bobby Reeves. So their whole bench is out there in the second half. Neil Chavez with the pull-up jumper is good.
Solano is playing lazy defense right now.
Lazy pass there by Donovan Smith. Cox started cutting. Smith thought he was saying, a little miscommunication. Overplay by Stan Kaya is called a foul. Kind of hooked him there in the back.
Yeah, Solano's playing very lackadaisical right now. They need to step it up and bring more energy to the court.
And what's ironic is that last year, Donovan Smith was really one of those energy players off the bench. But because he's in the game for most of the game because he's a starter, you really need to find that off-the-bench sort of energy and punch.
Yes, a great bench makes a great team. Just look at the San Antonio Spurs.
San Antonio has one of the deepest teams historically every single year. All around the world, they recruit people. Marco Bellinelli,
Yes.
Patty Mills, Aaron Baines. The list goes on and on.
Yes, half of their team is from European teams. They do a great job scouting.
And they end up in San Antonio, Texas. How about that? So Marin with the offensive set. Neil Chavez passes the ball out of bounds. Paul O'Sullivan logging some minutes in this game. Only his 8th game played of the year so far. So Chavez guarding the ball of LeJean Sewell. Getting the screen set from Usher.
Lazy screen.
Again, a screen from Usher trying to free up Corey Cox. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. They're regrouping. They have time to execute their half-court set. He denies the screen, step-back jumper, and it is good. So Corey Cox really breaking out in the second half.
Yes, sir. Corey Cox is one of the best scorers on this team right now.
Paul O'Sullivan, in the meantime, with the layup from Marin's side of things. And Donovan Smith with an acrobatic layup, taking on big Bobby Reeves.
Nice. You get to the hole. Marin's only averaging 2.7 blocks per game. You need to get to the hole like that.
That's the sort of thing we like to see from Donovan Smith, driving the basket. Far too many times in this game we've seen him shoot long three-pointers.
Yes.
Donovan is really athletic, and him getting to the line will not only get buckets, but potentially get some free throws.
Yes.
And here in the breakaway, 2-on-2. Smith gets the ball stolen away by Milton Jackson. Now it's a 3-on-2 the other way from Marin, and it is lobbed up, and great play by number 10, Andrew Brinston, and a hard foul. Donovan Smith landed hard on his tailbone.
Yes, you don't know how this court feels. Everybody may think it's soft, but it's very, very hard.
And Donovan Smith is down, getting some help up from his teammates. Glad to see him up, and that's going to be sore tomorrow.
Yes.
Right on his tailbone. So just over 10 minutes into the second half, and it is a 27-point game. Marin leading 67-40. What have you seen in the second half from Solano?
They kind of stepped up their defense, but they need to step it up more, being down 27 now. At least it's not 31, Brian.
Yes. They're slowly chipping away. If this game was an hour longer, they're totally back in it. I can guarantee that.
Yes.
Marin, on the other hand, what have you seen from the second half?
Marin, they moved the ball very well, like the San Antonio Spurs, how they move the ball and get their shooters open, get to the post, you know. All you have to do is move the ball and create open shots.
It's a really efficient offense from Marin, both inside and outside. They have great three-point shooters up and down the lineup, starters and bench. And they also can free up a lot of their guys for easy layups. So,
Yes.
and an interesting stat from, if I would borrow from Tim Kirkchin, a little Kirkchin, the Marin has no three-pointers made in the second half. Primarily, their first 20 points, about 18 were from three-point shots.
Yes.
So as good as they are from the three-point line, really getting all their points from just a basic half-court set and getting layups and little floaters. So now Donovan Smith has time to heal up and get some free throws out of the deal. So he comes set. First free throw is good. Smith's second free throw on the way. Next foul from Marin will put Solano in the double bonus, meaning they'll get 2 shots for every foul. And Smith nails both free throws. So matching his total from the first half. So Neil Chavez again drives a hole, and the Solano defense draws the foul, the blocking foul. So Lejean Sewell picks up a foul. And Neil Chavez at the line, brother of Luke Chavez. He is the older of the Chavez brothers. Played last year. And once you're around SCSN, as long as I've been here, you start recognizing some sophomore names from Marin: Miller Blake, Brandon Kindlevort, Neil Chavez. Neil Chavez was a starter, as well as Stan Kaya. So interesting to see their depth and the recruiting of Marin to get 3 brand new starters and get better.
Yes.
So now Solano has the ball. Andrew Brinston, backup point guard, bring the ball up. A very interesting lineup. 3 smaller players: Donovan Smith, Andrew Brinston, and Lejean Sewell, playing alongside Corey Cox and Andre Usher. Smith open for 3. That was a good look, and he steps into it, and it is true. That puts Smith into double figures with 11.
They need to space the floor a little more so they could get more opportunities like that.
So now Marin sets a double screen with their 2 big men, Stan Kaya and Bobby Reeves. And he double dribbles. Turnover from Marin's side. Solano checking in is Kyle Osterstock. Checking in for Donovan Smith. Taking a well-deserved rest after that big, hard foul on that layup. Marin, on the meantime, is playing some, I wouldn't say very intense full court pressure, but it's technically full court pressure.
Yeah.
Solano swinging the ball around, trying to find Osterstock in the post with a mismatch. And Andre Usher for 3 from the side.
Should have hit the post. He had a mismatch, a little point guard on him. That's easy buckets right there, Brian.
So Bobby Reeves misses the shot, but a foul away from the ball on 44, Osterstock. So trying to get that rebound, push it in the back. So 17 foul, so that'll put them into the single bonus, meaning 1-on-1s from now on for Marin. Can you explain to the folks what a 1-on-1 is?
A 1-on-1 basically is, if you make the first free throw, then you get another opportunity to make another free throw. After that, if you miss the first free throw, then it's done.
The ball's live.
The ball is live,
Yeah.
yes.
That's one thing I didn't really realize, because growing up I was a really big NBA fan. Didn't really watch college basketball. And I actually took a basketball class here when I was in high school, and I learned all about 1-on-1.
Yes, I grew up in the basketball world, so I pretty much knew this since I was a baby.
That's your first sentence. 1-on-1. So Solano now in the offensive half court. Corey Cox trying to get a screener from Osterstock. Instead, Sewell comes to try and set the screen. Osterstock trying to get the ball to Cox, but too many big men in the trees there. Too many trees in the forest.
Yes, that's why they need to space the floor more.
Spacing would definitely help in that half-court set that they tried to attempt. Reeves with a good post move, just short. Battle for the rebound. Goes Solano's way to LeJean Sewell. He's having a pretty good game off the bench for Solano.
Yes.
Really hustling, doing a lot of the dirty work.
Yes, he's like an energy player.
So really the first look at Solano. Sewell's been impressive. JT Robinson, Corey Cox. I'm impressed with some of these young players from Solano. So now Osterstock trying to get the ball into the post to Corey Cox. A one-on-one move from Sewell. Draws a foul from Milton Jackson. And yet again, Sewell at the free throw line.
It's the easiest way to get points, Brian. Free throw line.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier in the first half with Josh. You look around the NBA, look around college. Where do they get most of their points for the leading scorers? From the free throw line.
Yes.
Year after year, James Hardens of the world. They always get to the line, score.
Yeah. James Harden had 22 made free throws in one game before. And he went, I believe, 2 for 18 from the field goal.
Yeah.
So it helps a lot, Brian.
It does. Wow, 2 for 18. And he gets paid millions of dollars to shoot 2 for 18. That's obviously once in a
yeah, somebody
while.
needs to give me a jersey if I could do that.
Put me in, coach. I can shoot 2 for 18 and shoot 20 free throws. Stan Kaya for 3. Misses. Good rebound by Corey Cox. LeJean Sewell passes it back to Cox, back to Sewell. Pass into the post to Osterstock. He's looking more to pass, not looking for his offensive moves.
Yeah, once you get it in the paint, go at it. You can't be scared.
You can tell non-verbally from up here that as soon as he got the ball, he wasn't looking to do a little shimmy shake and try and shake Reeves. He looked right at the guy who passed the ball, looking like, are you going to take it back?
Yes, go at him. Make him tired.
So now Solano inbounding the ball to Joshawn Snell. Andrew Brinson with a nice spin move. Little too strong. Didn't get the right angle on that layup. Meanwhile, on the other end, Paul O'Sullivan with a layup. So JT Robinson passing into Cox. And he draws a foul on Stan Kaya. So impressive with Corey Cox and his ability to drive the basket, get at least free throw attempts out of the offensive set.
Yes, that's what you have to do, Brian. Like I said, when a team is averaging 2.7 blocks per game, they really don't have a shot blocker. Number 50, he's big, but he's not a shot blocker.
Yeah. The difference between size and shot blocking is really all about timing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, like the Patrick Ewings in the world, the Dikembe Mutombos, obviously.
They have size and timing, but like you look at some undersized guys, like if you're a Warriors fan, Draymond Green gets a lot of blocks at basically 6'6", 6'7".
Yes.
So it's all about anticipation, instinct, timing.
Yes, everybody needs a Draymond Green on their team. He's very valuable.
Hey, you're kind of like the Draymond Green of our team, right? You got the beard, you know, you got some grit. You do all the jobs now that you're in the broadcast booth. So foul on Solano. Sewell picking up another foul. Milton Jackson at the line. And Marin choosing to play the second half, resting the majority of their starters, playing all their bench, while Solano, on the other hand, getting some valuable reps to a lot of the freshmen, such as Corey Cox and JT Robinson. So Coach Nagel not taking this opportunity to play his bench, trying to get some improvement from his starters.
Yes, they need the confidence right now.
This is definitely the time to do it. You would call this garbage time.
Yes.
In a 27-point game. And if you're still listening, I'd like to thank you personally from Brian Nelson. Thank you for still watching a 27-point blowout here either on Think TV, Channel 28, or on YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, we are on constantly throughout the day on Channel 28 in Fairfield. on Think TV and vice versa. Think TV. Check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/Solano College, to find all sorts of sports from football to basketball to baseball. They're even going to do rugby this year, so a lot of chances to fill your sports needs. Meanwhile, number 22, Milton Jackson, lays that ball up and in.
He basically just walked through the paint and did a layup, Brian. There was nobody there.
He's like Moses, just parted part of the defenders and walked right by and laid it up and in. Some spin moves from number 10, Andre Brinston. Takes the ball out, JT Robinson does. Gets it to Brinston, pump fakes, throws the ball away to Paul Sullivan with a great outlet pass to Milton Jackson. Throws it up to Sankaya. Slaps the back of the padding for emphasis.
Yes, I seen that one coming the whole way, Brian.
Yeah, Stan Kaya, like I said, was a starter last year. Really athletic. You look at him, long-limbed, very Justin Holiday-like in his appearance and athleticism. He's got those long limbs that he could just throw it up, and he's got the jumping ability. Finish the play.
Yes, Justin Holiday, the brother of Drew Holiday. He's very taller than Drew and more lanky than Drew.
Yeah, Drew Holiday, really an excellent player for the New Orleans Pelicans, who I like as a team for the future.
Yes, me too, especially with Anthony Davis.
He's only getting better. He's scary.
Yes.
How old is he? Like 22?
21, I think.
21,
Brian. 22?
Yes. Like, I could babysit Anthony Davis when he was a kid. You know, I'm that old.
Wow.
And Anthony Davis is just getting out of this world good.
Yes.
Top 5 player.
He's a double-double machine right now. And, yes, I would say he's a top 5 player in the early season candidate for MVP right now.
Did you see this out of him coming out of Kentucky?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
There's very few things I'm really, really wrong about. That sounded really arrogant, but I'll just go with it. The 2 players I thought had no chance in this league, Anthony Davis and Joakim Noah. I thought Noah was going to be absolute garbage because of that weird horizontal axis shot that he has.
Yes, he has a weird shot, but he's more useful on defense. He brings a lot of energy to the Chicago Bulls, and they like to play a lot of defense, so they really need that, along with Jimmy Butler, who's having a tremendous season right now.
I think he's leading candidate for most improved player in the league.
Yes, me too. If he doesn't get it, then something's wrong with the NBA.
Because really, the Bulls' heartbeat is really Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson, and Butler. They just take on the identity of Thibodeau and just execute every single night.
Yes, because they're all about energy, which Solano needs right now.
So trying to find some Jimmy Butlers and Taj Gibsons in this lineup with Osterstock, Cox, Robinson, and Tim Moore now has the ball. Foul, driving to the basket. Tim Moore, another lanky kind of athlete.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Solano, they need some more meat on their bones. Like, everybody's so skinny.
Some down-home cooking,
Man.
you know. Where's it? Yeah, strength and conditioning coach. And just
or just eat more.
get some sponsorships from local places, you know.
Yes.
I think we like to go to Misa Zone by Solano, you know. Great place to eat. Get a good burrito, you know, at a good price for students, especially for Solano students. Owner's a great guy, gives you a discount for being a student at Solano. So located over the overpass, you know. Go check it out sometime. So Marin in the half-court set gives it to Bobby Reeves. Gets Corey Cox up in the air. Good pump fake. Draws a foul.
Just look how big Bobby is standing next to everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, he makes Tim Moore look like a French fry. Just so skinny.
It's like big brothers versus little brothers, you know?
Yes, exactly.
It's just hard to compete against your big brother, you know?
Yeah, you can't let the little brothers win. They'll get too much confidence.
Yeah.
Then you'll have to beat them up.
So Osterstock with the rebound. Really, Osterstock is their biggest player, both in size and in girth.
Yes, but they need to get bigger. Like, if they need me to, I'll put on a jersey. You know, I'm about 250, so I'll do good.
Just be a bouncer, you know? So Tim Moore with a nice lefty three-point shot. Errant. Milton Jackson carried the ball there, trying to make that move around the defender. Palm of the ball. So Tim Moore inbounding the ball to JT Robinson. I like Tim Moore's shot. It just looks pretty, you know? That lefty jumper, I was talking to Josh earlier, that it's just smooth looking.
Yes, I've seen that a lot in high school. He got better at it, but, you know, I think I'm still better than Tim.
Ball goes out of bounds, but still stays with Solano. And this game is winding down. 3 minutes, 17 seconds left. It is a 29-point game at this point. And Marin doing it all with their bench in this second half. Playing defense, JT Robinson's wide open under the basket. They finally see him. Gets the ball up, and Neil Chavez, takes a hard foul. But yeah, Robinson was just wide open there, just waving his arms, you know, doing some interpretive dance, trying to get some attention, because he was wide open on that play. Great back cut by JT Robinson.
Yes, he has been putting in a lot of work this game, especially with the dunk earlier, which had the crowd going crazy.
Yeah. Some quick energy right off the bat. I think he scored 6-2. There's a nice turnover, a little scrum for the ball. JT Robinson comes out of the pack, throws it down with one hand. Shows a nice touch there on the free throw attempt. I know Josh Thompson, the other announcer, got really excited. Kind of hijacked my call there. But, you know, it's his first time, you know? I'll let it slide. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Not going to happen again. I'm gonna take that back.
Well, I can understand because I was over there on the camera excited myself.
Oh, is that what the sound I was hearing?
Yes,
yeah?
yes,
Okay.
Yes, if you're talking about the high-pitched scream, that was definitely me.
So JT Robinson taking Chavez off the dribble, passing it out to number 5, Joshawn Snell. Snell drives the ball, passes it to Corey Cox. Pump fake. Lets the defender back into his space. Has Reeves on him. 14 seconds. Tim Moore straight on for 3. Off to the left. And rebounded by Bobby Reeves.
If you look at Corey, he was frustrated that he shot the ball because they know they need to get the ball in the paint more.
Right. That was a long three-point attempt from Tim Moore. And Bobby Reeves, yet again.
Big Bobby Reeves in the paint.
Post move.
Telling you, best way to score.
Very competent big man in there. Yeah, their starting offensive 5, Brandon Kindlevort, is, I would say, would be playing the center. Pierre Carter's stretch 4. If he is in an ideal situation, he's really more of a small forward with his shooting ability. But if Marin is in a battle with some big men, Bobby Reeves looks pretty good.
Yes.
As a backup big. Pretty sure he would start if he was on Solano.
I will hope they give him the ball a lot, too.
That he wouldn't be shooting threes.
I hope not.
You're that big. Just pretend there's no three-point line. Paul O'Sullivan with the breakaway steal.
Lazy
Takes it
pass.
all the way. Lays it up and in. Nice control from Paul O'Sullivan.
I knew that was going to happen.
Kind of hard to control yourself sometimes when you're excited. You just got to steal. Just driving to the basket. You ever just embarrass yourself?
I wouldn't call it embarrassed, but I know what you mean by the excitement part.
Your eyes just get big, and you see the basket, and you're just like, I got this, and then, no. But Paul Sullivan, nice body control, finishing. Not able to get that three-point play. Robinson with the rebound. Passing it over to Usher, not the singer, Andre Usher. Jesse Carey. Passing it around to Snell. Now Solano playing mostly bench players. Sewell draws a foul yet again. So Sewell and Cox are really the two guys that are trying to gain some offensive confidence by driving the basket a lot more.
Yes, but it's more, you need more than 2 players. As you can see, remember with Miami, in 2010 they needed more help than just Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. But Solano, it seems like they don't move around. Like they need people cutting, hitting open spots. It just doesn't seem like they.
It's not a ton of movement on the offensive side of the
they're
ball.
not moving at all. They're just all at the 3-point line. I don't
Just
get
kind of
the-
swinging it around
Yes.
like a pendulum.
Yes, it
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
You're not gonna win like that.
Stan Kaya with a strong rebound. Milton Jackson brings the ball up, drives a little too hard to Bobby Reeves. Fired that one in at 100 miles an hour. And they turn it over. Milton Jackson. Oh, Stan Kaya wants that alley-oop.
Yes, he
But,
wanted it bad.
I was watching Stan Kaya the entire time.
Yes,
JT Robinson was smart. Just kind of slow up with Stan Kaya running full speed. He got the big eyes, you know?
Smart move, JT. Smart move.
That was a heads-up play of the game, I think. You won't see that in the stat sheet anywhere, ever, but that was a good play by JT.
Yes, JT, smart move. I probably would have tripped him and got a foul, but you're thinking.
Anthony plays dirty. You know?
Yes.
No prisoners. So LeJean Sewell takes the ball up the court, passes over to Snell. JT Robinson, the only starter left in the game at this point. Snell passes to Sewell. Again, drives it.
Ooh.
Nice block by Neil Chavez, but looks like he got a little bit more risk than the ball. Still disappointed that his block didn't count. That must be a nice feeling to just swat someone out of bounds.
It's a great feeling, trust me. Especially when it goes out of bounds and the crowd just
Roars.
goes like, ooh.
See,
Yeah.
as a little guy, I don't get to block that many shots, you know. I think the last block shot I had was in 5th grade. You know, there's a little baseline jumper. He didn't see me coming. And my little 10-year-old self got up, swat, out of bounds. And I did a little Dikembe Mutombo finger wag. I was a cocky little 10-year-old, yeah.
I can tell, Brian.
Yeah. So with the second free throw, that is good. And with less than a minute left, looks like we're winding down. Scores 84 for the Marin Mariners, 52 from Solano. O'Sullivan getting the ball into Kaya. Nice post move. Little one dribble to get your rhythm. Turn face off the backboard. So a 5-second difference between the game and shot clock. So Solano's probable last possession. Try and get something efficient rather than something that's good, that is successful. I would say efficiency is the thing that they need to work on, not making shots.
Yes.
But yet another possession ruined by a turnover. And it looks like Marin has the capabilities to dribble out the clock. Milton Jackson looks like he'll be doing that. So 10 seconds left.
Oh, we might see a crossover here,
Oh,
Brian.
okay.
Oh.
Little Harlem Globetrotters. 1, and that is the ball game. So final score, Marin Mariners 86, Solano 52. What's your takeaway from today's game, Anthony?
Solano, they need to get more physical in the paint, especially they need to space the ball more on defense. They need to move around. They need to rebuild, obviously. They need a whole new game plan. Need to go straight to the basics. Like, take a page out the book like from the Spurs, just watch them play and they'll get better. Anybody could get better watching the Spurs or maybe the Atlanta Hawks recently.
Hey, and well, speaking of the Spurs, their coach is from that system, Mike Budenholzer.
Yes.
But what about Marin's side? What impressed you about Marin's?
Marin, I've seen a lot of ball movement. Ball movement is the key nowadays. It works for San Antonio a lot. Like they have a lot of older players, and their younger players can really fit into the offense immediately. All they have to do is watch the ball, spot up, just move around, obviously, and let Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu go to work. But yes, ball movement is the key nowadays.
But let's leave on a positive note. What are some things that you liked from Solano?
Solano, they.
Don't speak too quickly now. All right, I'll go. I think they have some key pieces in JT Robinson and see, now it's contagious. Corey Cox and Sewell. Those three played really well considering it was a tough game. The Marin side obviously has a lot of talent, a lot of length, a lot of athleticism, but they kept their hustle. They kept trying to get to the basket, score easy points. So those three players, I think, played a valiant effort in this game. And I think that's about wraps it up. Anthony, you have fun in your first basketball broadcast?
Yes, I had a lot of fun, Brian.
So I'd like to thank you for joining me, as well as Josh Thompson, the other color commentator for today's game. I'm Brian Nelson. Your final score here at the Solano Gymnasium, the Mariners 86, Solano Falcons 52.